All right. Well, welcome to the virtual Q&A session for the 2026 Finch Lane Gallery Call for Entries. My name is Todd Oberndorfer, and I am the Visual Arts Program Coordinator and the Director of the Finch Lane Gallery. I'll review the submission guidelines, offer valuable tips for completing your application successfully, and answer any questions you may have. Do this right, this session is being recorded and will be available later for reference. All right, we're going to chat just a little bit about the Salt Lake City Arts Council. The Salt Lake City Arts Council is committed to fostering the arts by promoting and supporting local artists. Located in a reservoir park inside the historic art barn, the Finch Lane Gallery provides contemporary visual art exhibitions throughout the year. The call for entries helps us select a representative and engaging slice of Utah-based artists to exhibit during our 7 6-week sessions scheduled for 2026. Our goal is to support artists' professional growth and provide exposure to their work. We welcome applications from all Utah-based artists, teams, and curators across every visual arts medium, including new and experimental genres. The application process is conducted exclusively online via a site called Submittable. I'm more than happy to chat about that later if you have any questions. Ensure your application is complete and submitted, and here's the trick, by April 27th, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. All late submissions or incomplete applications will not be accepted. And then this is a free application process as well. All right, so when you're looking through the guidelines in the application, you're going to see a series of dates. This is our 2026 exhibition schedule. It's clearly outlined with specific dates for each session throughout the year. You'll also notice that they will start as early as January and as late as December. And so that means that if you need a little bit of extra time to put together your exhibition, do choose one a little bit later in the year. Now, that being said, I would also suggest that you choose as many as possible. When I'm putting the puzzle together, sometimes that helps as well. We provide 2 distinct gallery spaces. If you've been to the gallery, you know that we have an East Gallery and a West Gallery. The West Gallery is the side with the glass doors overlooking the park, with different sizes and setups to accommodate various exhibition needs. Artists will receive comprehensive resources, including technical equipment, social media promotions, and an honorarium of $500 per exhibition. The Arts Council will manage sales of your artwork during the exhibition and retain 30% on any artwork sold, which means the artist gets 70%. Applications are evaluated based on clear, well-defined criteria: technical, conceptual, and aesthetic excellence, relevance and originality of artistic themes, ability to meet exhibition deadlines, and overall completeness and clarity of the application materials. And again, if we have any questions that are specific to any of those, let's chat about them later. Each year I put together a visual arts committee. This committee, comprising experienced Arts Council staff, board members, professional artists, community stakeholders, carefully reviews each submission to ensure a compelling exhibition schedule. This is not something I do alone. Thank goodness. Make sure your materials are clear, professional, and follow all guidelines. Double check your file formats. Everything's laid out for you in the guidelines in the application itself. Make sure that the materials are properly labeled as well. And then we can go through these if you have any questions. It's rather straightforward, but do make sure that you fill out every section. We offer substantial support to artists throughout the application process. If you do need assistance, free computers, Wi-Fi services are available at the main library branch. You're also encouraged to reach out directly to me via email or phone, and I'm going to give you that information at the end. If you have any additional questions or you need further clarification. Definitely don't want any surprises for you. That's not our intent at all. Visit our submission portal regularly to stay informed and ensure your submission meets all requirements. Artist opportunities come in many forms. They may include open calls, opportunities for competitions, prizes, awards, proposals, grants, and exhibitions. Here are a few pieces of advice that apply to each and every form of application. All right, first-time applicants in particular, but this definitely applies to all of us. First and foremost, follow the directions. Again, we've been doing this long enough that it is rather straightforward, but if you have any questions, I appreciate the feedback, believe me. Second bit of advice, get started early. That April 27th will come quick. That being said, I wouldn't wait until April 26th. You'll also notice that April 27th, next time you look at a calendar, is a Sunday. And Sunday at 11:59 p.m. means that you can't call me on Sunday, which means that you have to think at least a couple of days ahead, which means on Friday during my office hours. And so hopefully you're not going to wait till Friday either. But do make sure you get started on the application as early as you can. Number 3, reach out and ask questions. Now, sometimes that means reaching out to me. Sometimes that means reaching out to your peers or family or friends or other artists that may have applied before. I think at this point, getting advice from everyone is probably the safest bet. And number 4, know what you're applying for, be as specific as possible. And again, this applies to all applications, not just this particular one. I think more times than not, if you're looking through guidelines for an application and you find your work is just not a match for what you're applying for, then it is, to put it bluntly, it's going to be a waste of your time. And then it's going to be something that probably won't check off the boxes on our side as well. And that's the last thing that we want. And so if you have any questions on whether or not this is the best fit for you, A, go through the guidelines, B, go through the additional resources, and I'll mention those in just a few minutes. I do have some questions and answers already on our website, and so I'll point that as well. All right, we have now made it to that point where y'all can ask me questions. This is an opportunity to ask detailed questions. As details you want. I know there's just a few of you on this chat, but I do know that there's going to be a lot of people that'll be watching this later. Any sort of logistics that you have, I want to make sure that you're comfortable asking me. Sometimes the face-to-face, even though we're just over Zoom, might be a little uncomfortable. Just know that you can reach out to me over email or phone, or you can set up a time to come chat in person at the gallery. And so, like I was saying before, if anybody needs to get hold of me, this is my contact information. Again, my name is Todd Oberndorfer. My email is todd.oberndorfer@slc.gov. And I'll leave this screen up for just a couple of minutes for everybody. My desk number is 801-535-6512. You can leave a voice message if I'm away from my desk, which I sometimes am. Sometimes I'm down in the gallery space. And then in just a minute, I'm going to share my browser screen so that we can take a peek at our Salt Lake Arts Council website. And there's a particular page that has all the links that you need. And that is saltlakearts.org/programs/apply-to-exhibit. All right, leave this up for just another minute or two. Anybody needs to jot that down that might be watching. If you look up saltlakearts.org, you will find my name all over the place too. So hopefully I'm not hiding any of that contact information from you. All right, I'm going to end this part of the presentation. And it's back up. I do want to share one other thing at this moment that we're sharing. I'll quit that. And let's share one more screen real quick. It's right here. All right, do you see a website? Okay, perfect. Yeah. And so in the address line across the top, you will see saltlakearts.org. And you should be very comfortable at this point with this site. All of our programming that we do is on here, but a couple of places that I would check out regularly, and that is if you scroll down on the main page, you'll see our latest news section. That's a really good place to check for opportunities. In fact, I just listed, we have some professional development for artists series that I just posted yesterday. You could do registration for that, so you can go back and check that if you want to, or anything that might be in there by the time you check this. What I want to check out is under programming, you'll see Finch Lane Gallery. And under Finch Lane Gallery, you'll see apply to exhibit. And that is our central location for all things exhibition and application related. A lot of the information we're talking now, the reminders are on here as well. A few things that I would definitely point out is the timeline, the deadline. It's not going to come as a surprise that for this particular call for entries, the proposals are due no later than Sunday, April 27th at 11:59 p.m. It's right there in black and white. You can also find a digital copy of our guidelines that we kind of breezed through. Again, rather straightforward, but do take a few minutes to look through that before you start applying. Sometimes it's easier to look through those guidelines rather than the application when you first do that. And then the next place that I would go to is right for here. In this case, where it says virtual question and answer, I will replace this Zoom link with a link to our YouTube video so you can see what we're talking about right now. And then once you get to the point where you're ready to apply, this is the magic button right here. So if you see Submittable, it is an online application resource, and there are many out there. We use Submittable. It's rather straightforward. You will see opportunities for artists on this screen. In this case, this is the one you're looking for, 2026 Finch Lane Gallery Exhibitions Call for Entries. And that will start your journey right there. And so on this page, you can see this version of the guidelines. On the previous link, it opens up. In fact, we can share that really quick. Let us go back. You can check out the guidelines here as well. This one's prettier. That's what it comes down to. You can look through this. It's going to be the same thing that's right before your application as well. All right, anything else on this page I want to point out? I'm also going to make, I'll point out too, I have accumulated some frequently asked questions. That's on this page as well. There's a good chance that one of these questions you might have already. Reach out with new ones. I've just compiled questions from artists, and so you're going to find some good ones in here. But that being said, that's another good resource as well. If people are asking questions that are rather straightforward, I might direct them towards this first, just so you can start getting into the habit of finding your way around our particular website. And then if you don't already, I would recommend just another little plug for the Instagram page. And so it's just an opportunity to follow. Here it is right here, opportunities. And so in this case, here is our Instagram page. You'll see right here, there's a link that you would have found out a few days ago that we are doing an open call. And so nothing slides by. We post everything. All right, I am going to stop sharing that. And I am going to single out a couple of our guests, and hopefully you might have a question or two for me. Otherwise, I'm just going to talk for 2 more minutes. Alyssa, have you started the application yet?
I've reviewed everything, but I haven't started yet. I was wondering if there's any specific criteria around what the exhibits can be about. Does the theme need to be cohesive between all of your paintings? Are there certain subject matters the Finch Lane Gallery would prefer not to exhibit?
Great question. A lot of that's going to come from you as far as how you choose to sell your idea during the application process. I'm going to read your little blurb, right? And you only have so many characters essentially to get your point across. You're going to provide me with some amazing images that may coincide with work that is in progress for that show, or it may not be work And this is a good point for me to point out as well, that you certainly don't have to have work available now that you would propose to be in the show next year, right? But that being said, the images that you're going to provide are going to be, let's just say it's going to back up the story that you're giving me, right? And it could be in any number of ways. And I'll kind of leave that up to you as an artist. As far as an overall theme goes, we don't propose a theme each year. What I do look for is something that you as an artist is passionate about, right? And so that's going to read through in your description. We all get very excited about that. I look for ideas that represent our Salt Lake City community because heaven knows that's what we do as artists is we represent many times many people that can identify with the work. And so I'm always looking for that. As far as subject matter goes, I would certainly never, determine what an artist can pitch to us. That being said, we are representative of the community in the sense that we have eyes from everyone in town. And so we have, families that come through here. We have couples that come through here in all shapes and forms. We have, grandma comes in here, grandpa comes in here, groups of colleagues come through here. And so whatever your audience might be, it will probably check off when it comes to our space. But I would certainly never be too apprehensive as far as trying to propose your idea as it stands, right? And so more than anything, I want you to be excited about what you're proposing. And so if I read that, one, it keeps my finger on to some degree the pulse of the community, um, what we are all thinking about, but maybe we're not expressing in so many ways. And so I get very excited about that as well. That is my long answer to a great question. Um,
Perfect. Thank you so much.
the one thing I do want though is I don't necessarily want emerging artist retrospectives, right? And so we're not quite ready for that. And meaning like a best of isn't always the first best pitch. I think there is typically a theme of some kind, right? It's not going to be determined by anyone with the Arts Council and with Finch Lane, but it will be something that ties your pieces together, right? And so when it does come to the space, you have a general idea of the size of the two gallery spaces, which again, you could make a reference in your application to which space you are thinking as far as filling, because you're going to be responsible as a solo or a team or as a group in filling that gallery space. And that's going to really come down to your ability to fill that gallery space, right? And so I need you to be familiar with the scale and the size of each of the rooms. I don't think of them as enormous, but they're quite large when you're trying to fill the spaces with your work, right? Do know that Finch Lane Gallery, we're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Tuesday nights till 8:30. We are often open on reception nights every third Friday during gallery stroll. You have plenty of opportunity to swing by here, do a little recon and check out the space, kind of check out the situation, where doors are, where windows are, if you're being really specific. The more ownership an artist can take of each gallery space, the more excited I get and my panel gets on our side. Because more than anything, I want to hand over the opportunity to you as an artist or a curator or a team. Curating a show is an amazing opportunity that we can provide artists. And so if you're checking out the space and you are determining that, oh my lands, this is going to be really hard to fill this with my work alone, maybe you start thinking about partner or a team or a group. Um, or you maybe start thinking about, I can do this. This is a true challenge for myself, but I can meet the deadlines and I can fill the space with what needs to be. I don't like a space that's too sparse, but at the same time, I don't want what I sometimes think of as a yard sale. Um, it's a little too claustrophobic as well, and so it's that point between the two.
Do you have, I've been to this space a few times, but I just wonder if you have it like a floor plan or a schematic of kind of the dimensions of each gallery.
Aaron,
And
I
when
sure
we submit
do.
an app, when we
Go ahead.
submit an application, do we specify that we're interested in which gallery we believe our exhibit would be better suited for, or is that something that you guys determine which gallery?
Sometimes it's going to be a matter of the sort of puzzle, Jenga, putting that exhibition calendar together. But that being said, there is opportunity for you to let me know which space would be best for your work on your side. And so in your
Okay.
head, I am picturing this amazing exhibition proposal. And I think that because of the light that comes off the windows from the park side, the West Gallery would be absolutely perfect for me. And so the more that you can visualize it and describe it, the more excited I get on my side. And so that being said, there might be some opportunities where I would love to have you in the space, but I only have East Gallery available. And that's a discussion that we will have. Um, and so to answer your question, typically the artist, excuse me, is able to choose the gallery space that works best for their work. But sometimes there's a little bit of compromise.
Sure. Okay.
And as far as the floor plan goes, that is something that I would be more than happy to provide you. So shoot me an email, and that's going to
Okay.
be between me and anybody that might be interested. Right now, that's not posted anywhere online or on the website, but I can certainly provide that for you. Artists that are selected for the exhibition calendar, I do typically provide a floor plan for them. And so that being said, there's no reason why I couldn't provide that for you beforehand.
Okay. And
Great
if we
question.
have written the work the body of work that I'm working on, there is a piece of written, like a short story or poetry that I've written that accompanies each piece. Do you want to see those, or like, do you want me to submit those as well as like pictures of the work so that you can see how they dovetail together, or should I just keep that separate?
Aaron, that's a great question. And I love your idea on that. I would, in some capacity, and again, that's what's so lovely about artists is that you can always create something that I would never think of on my side. And so I want to make sure and not have obstacles for you unless you absolutely have to be in place. And so if there was some way that you could describe in your application or perhaps uploading one example of to kind of get your message across, I would absolutely suggest you do. And so what would
Okay.
happen if you were to propose just the let's say, for instance, the 2D pieces themselves, and we missed the opportunity of hearing about these incredible poems that are going to be with it, then that might affect the decision making. And
Sure.
so the group that we put together, that might really connect to a poet that's part of that panel. And so um, I'm going to leave that up to you to decide how that you kind of put that into your proposal, but I would certainly not leave it out. That being said, you certainly don't have to post images from, I don't need to see every single image that's going to be in the show, but I do need a selection. I think that's the best we can do. Choose your favorites.
Okay. Thank you.
Great question. All right. Did that spur anything else with you, Alyssa? Do you feel like you're in a good place?
I feel like I'm in a pretty good place and understand the criteria. So I guess now it's just working putting everything together.
Perfect. And I would, like I said, just kind of whittle away at that. Um, there are opportunities to meet with me in person. Again, through the email or the phone number, we can probably try to set something up. If nothing else, I think more often than not, if you don't come to the gallery regularly, drop by. I do know that, for instance, we have our next exhibition that will be opening, I believe it's on April 18th, which is Gallery Stroll Night. That would be an amazing opportunity to swing by and say hi, introduce yourself, and check out Case the Joint. Check things out. Kind of start to imagine your work in that space. And then at the same time, too, if you do check out our website, again, under Finch Lane Gallery and Exhibition Cycle, you're going to start seeing some names that are listed on there, shows that are coming up. And then also, I keep on the last year's worth of shows, so the last 12 shows. And so perhaps there's an artist that you know of or somebody that I can introduce you to, and you can reach out and you can say hi and ask them questions. The more you reach out, the more you start chatting to artists, the less daunting this whole task is, the more exciting it gets.
That's amazing. Thank you. What a great
Perfect.
resource.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Well, hello there, Yuri. Did I miss you? It's good to see you.
Hi.
Hello there. I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you the link specifically to this video. Um, I'm not sure what time you popped on. It's one of those little screens, but I know it was probably after we got started. You are at an amazing opportunity that even if it's something that we've already answered, if you have a specific question about the application process or the guidelines or Finch Lane Gallery or what we do at Salt Lake Arts Council, now is a great time to ask.
Thank you.
The pressure is on. That being said, Yuri, if you'd like, I'm more than happy to reach out to you and make sure you have the information that you need from me. And probably within the next 2 days, maybe even by tomorrow, I'll have this video posted and linked. Are you familiar with the saltlakearts.org website? And if you're not, you are now.
Yeah, so no, I'm not really familiar with that. I don't know if you could like maybe stand that. Sorry, I'm kind of nervous.
No, don't be nervous. And I don't want you to be nervous. And so I'll reach out to you and we'll make sure that you have access to this video that we just recorded. Because my goal is to make sure you have all of the answers that you need when you start applying. Okay, perfect.
You.
All right. Well, I'm sorry I caught you here at the end, but that being said, you're going to still get all of this wonderful information. Thank you, Yuri. Thank you, Alyssa. Thank you, Aaron. Make sure to reach out to me if you have any questions. Otherwise, thank you to all of you that are watching the video now. Again, if you have any questions, reach out to me. Again, my name is Todd Oberndorfer, and we are signing off. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks so
Bye.
much. Of course.
Thank you.
You're welcome.